all of you for the last 24 hours. We've had several conversations on what the budget can or cannot do as far as growth is concerned, whether it can stimulate the economy or not. Mr. Das, let me start by asking you, sir. These are the comments that have come in now from former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. So you know broadly what Mr. Chidambaram may have said about the budget, sir. He says gross fixed capital formation has fallen precipitously. The budget does not do anything to address that. There is nothing in the budget to revive private investment. There is nothing in the budget to revive flagging growth, sir. Mr. Das, how would you respond to Mr. Chidambaram?
I think in any discussion, there should be a level playing field. The questions, it's not proper on my part to reply to a former finance minister. I think you should address these questions to the current finance minister, and I'm sure he'll be able to deal with far better than the limitations of my service, civil service, impose upon me.
Don't respond to Mr. Chidambaram, sir, but you can respond to the...
I'll respond to the points.
I'll
respond to the points. I mean, it's not proper. I mean, on a serious note, it's not proper for me to sort of respond to what a former finance minister has said. But on a more serious note, you see, the problems of the economy are known today. The fact that gross capital formation is low is something which, which even the economic survey has accepted, and which even the finance minister himself has also made a note of it. And there are several factors for it. It's nothing to do with the domestic policies. It's the overall, when you're globally, how much of investment is taking place globally today, you have to see. How much of investment is taking place in the emerging markets, how much investment is taking place in the developed world. Within that, if you see, I think earlier session, I heard that there was a mention about the FDI inflows.
Yes.
And the finance minister has given the numbers in the budget.
Yes.
I don't have to repeat that. Now, the FDI inflows in the first half of this month compared to the first half of last year have grown by 35%, when world over the FDI inflows have gone down by 5%.
Right.
So a lot of investment is taking place. For the SME sector, not exactly SME, but for the companies which are having a turnover of 50 crore or less, and which represent 96% of the companies, the finance minister has reduced the tax rate from 30% to 25%. So that much of additional resources and funds are left with these companies, which are the largest employment provider in the industry and in the other sectors. They are the largest employment providers. So that much of additional resources are left with these companies to invest. Now, I mean, I can go on and list measures which have been taken by the government. Look at the growth numbers. The growth numbers, I mean, various people have made various estimates about the so-called impact of the demonetization.
Yeah.
So far, all the assessments about the impact of demonetization are based on impressions, based on some kind of presumptions, anecdotal evidence.
Yeah.
Let the numbers come. There is some impact. Nobody is denying that there is no impact. Naturally, you had a segment of the economy which was dependent on cash. Part of that was probably not white, but part of that cash transactions were very much legitimate. So there was a section, there was a part of the economy, especially the informal sector, which was dependent on cash. So naturally, when there is a cash squeeze for about 6 to 8 weeks, there will be a problem, there will be a dip. But having said that, let us also recognize that the impact, the so-called impact of the demonetization is not expected to spill over to next year.
That's what the finance minister said.
It's a fact recognized by all the rating agencies, and the evidence of that, the signs of that are clearly visible. You have today huge amount of low-cost deposits available with the banks, which will enable the banks to, in fact, they have started the process of reducing the interest rates. It will enable the banks to lend at lower rates. And not only lower rates to the industries, to the small and medium and the large industries, but also take it, it's very important, individual loans. I know, I'll just give me half a minute.
Go ahead.
Now, it will enable the banks to lend individual housing loans to large number of people. Consumption loans, scooter or motorcycle loans, car loans. So that's going to, that's going to bring about a huge impact, positive impact on the consumption cycle in the economy. So on the whole, if you see, I think the budget has addressed almost every sector of the economy and has taken measures which will definitely produce impact, and that should be visible in the coming year.